Welcome to the Crawlcast. I'm your host, George Krawczak, and today we are going to look at who is the best quarterback in the AFC North. But first, a couple of admin things I want to take care of. In my first video, I did a couple of things like I said who had the best wide receiver, who had the best offensive line, and who had the best running back. I decided to remove that because to me that is too subjective. Like, for example, if you take someone like Aaron Rodgers, who had such a long career, sometimes his running back would be Aaron Jones, and sometimes his leading running back would be Aaron Ripkowski, and sometimes his leading receiver would be Devontae Adams, and sometimes his leading receiver would be Geronimo Allison and Jeff Janis. So it's a little bit tough to kind of measure that, especially for a long career. So I decided to remove that because I'm trying to be objective in this system and have objective numbers. So that's the first bit. And then the second bit is, so this is the AFC North. So I have Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and then I also did Aaron Rodgers because I think it's all but confirmed that he's playing for the Steelers. I think it's almost impossible that he doesn't play for the Steelers this season. And also, I think it'd be a little bit boring just doing Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. And then also, I don't have a Browns quarterback. The reason why I don't have one is because I thought about adding Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco, but truly, I think Joe Flacco could win it. I think Kenny Pickett could win the starting job. I think Dylan Gabriel could win it. And I think Shadir Sanders could win it. So I think it's a little bit unfair of adding those when I really don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. So now that that's out of the way, if you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. So first is the winning percentage. And I just want to say the person in first place gets 3 points, the person in second place gets 2 points, and the person in last place gets 1 point. And that is because I'm trying to make an objective system on who is the best quarterback in the in the AFC North. So at number 1 is Lamar Jackson, who has 70 and 24, which is a 74.47% winning percentage. At number 2 is Aaron Rodgers, who is 153, 87, and 1, which is a 63.49% winning percentage. And then at number 3 is Joe Burrow, who is 38, 30, and 1, which is a 55.07% winning percentage. So Lamar Jackson gets 3 points, Aaron Rodgers gets 2 points, and Joe Burrow gets 1 point. The next category is yards per game. So Joe Burrow has had 19,807 yards in 69 games, which averages out to 287.05 yards per game. Lamar Jackson has 26,232 yards in 94 games, which averages out to 279.06 yards per game. And Aaron Rodgers has 66,525 yards in 241 games, which averages on out to 276.03 yards per game. So Joe Burrow's number 1 gets 3 points, Lamar Jackson is number 2 and gets 2 points, and Aaron Rodgers is number 3 and gets 1 point. And the next category is touchdowns per game. Aaron Rodgers has 538 touchdowns in 241 games, which averages 2.23 touchdowns per game. At number 2 is Joe Burrow, who has 152 touchdowns in 69 games, which is 2.20 touchdowns per game. And then at number 3 is Lamar Jackson, who has 199 touchdowns in 94 games, which averages out 2.11 touchdowns per game. So Aaron Rodgers gets 3 points, Joe Burrow gets 2 points, and Lamar Jackson gets 1 point. The next category is turnovers per game. And of course, you want the least amount of turnovers per game. At number 1 is Aaron Rodgers, who has 213 turnovers in 241 games, which averages 0.88 turnovers per game. At number 2 is Joe Burrow, who has 79 turnovers in 69 games, which averages on out 1.14 turnovers per game. And then at number 3 is Lamar Jackson, who has 112 turnovers in 94 games, which averages on out 1.19 turnovers per game. So Aaron Rodgers gets 3 points, Joe Burrow gets 2 points, and Lamar Jackson gets 1 point. The next category is completion percentage. Joe Burrow has a 68.6% completion percentage, so he's number 1. At number 2 is Aaron Rodgers, who has a 65.1% completion percentage. And then at number 3 is Lamar Jackson, who has a 64.9% completion percentage. So Joe Burrow gets 3 points, Aaron Rodgers gets 2 points, and Lamar Jackson gets 1 point. And then the next category is passer rating. Aaron Rodgers is number 1 at 102.6 passer rating. Lamar Jackson is number 2 at 102 passer rating. And then number 3 is Joe Burrow, has 101.2 passer rating. So Aaron Rodgers gets 3 points, Lamar Jackson gets 2 points, and Joe Burrow gets 1 point. So, using this tally in the final results, Aaron Rodgers has 14 points, Joe Burrow has 14 points, and Lamar Jackson has 10 points. So, under this system, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow are tied for best quarterback in the AFC North, and Lamar Jackson is number 2. So, if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like an OG Money. I'll be doing this for every single division. And if you agree with the results and you like them, make sure to like this video. If you think this may be a flawed system or anything can do better, let me know in the comments below. And like I said, if you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one.